Greetings, TikTok Nation. Everybody, Scrappy D is getting ready to dive into this huge pile of Lenovo PCs. It's just like anything else. Sometimes you get a really good load, and sometimes one maybe not so much. There's not a lot of value in them per se. The boards turned out mostly to be iCore boards, which are paying $179 a pound right now. Okay, just had to get the other phone up. There really wasn't a lot as far as expansion cards or RAM or anything along those lines. But anyway, it is what it is, so let's go. Did okay at the scrapyard this morning. I sold the power supplies without wires. Those were okay. We did well on those. I sold a lot of the spaghetti wire that's inside. But these were crazy, and I'll show you. They have iCore boards. You can tell because of the angled, the angled handle. So because they have the very distinctive bent arm, they are going to be sold, of course, as iCore boards. The kicker is that there are no iCores in here. There's Celerons, there's Duos, there's Pentiums. Yeah. This is almost like IBM took a bunch of leftover crap, threw it together and made a Frankenputer. I mean, this would, probably like for a workstation or something like that, it probably was adequate. But there really isn't too much in here. A couple of sticks of RAM, power supply, and an aluminum heatsink. Hi, Diamantiful Nati, welcome. Toro, welcome. Okay, well, anyway, I believe we are starting to get some unsettled weather outside. I think we dodged a bullet with the hurricane, but I'm sure we're going to get some rain. We need it. Could do without the wind, but boy, do we need the rain. It has been a very dry month of August here in Connecticut. Hello, John Gerald. Welcome aboard. Guys, please don't forget to hit the like button. It really does help the channel a bunch. So anyway, I've got 80 of these outside on the patio. I think I'm going to just call it Lenovo Mountain. On the good side, always a good side to things. Well, at least you got to look for one, huh? On the good side of it, I did make a connection with a gentleman who updates technology, takes out old technology, replaces it with new. And he's local, he's not too far from me, and I think we've established a pretty good working relationship. I still got a couple of loads to pick up from him. But I have to get these done. Light iron is holding right at the same $125 a gross ton that it's been sitting at. Elvin Hunter 6. I'm a big Terry Brooks fan, are you? I think there were Elvin Hunters in several of his Shannara series books. Welcome, Papa, welcome. Donna Snow, welcome. Bob, welcome. So, I am a computer recycler. I try to find technology that is old and not working to be recycled. I don't repair things. I generally don't resell them. A lot of the people who I get these from actually hire me to dismantle them because they have to. Sometimes they get so backed up they're, they outsource things, and then I'm lucky enough to be able to pick them up. So I thought, well, why not take a look, see what we can get in here for value. Part of my problem is I overpaid for them. I made a real rookie mistake. I just, well, it wasn't really that I made a mistake. It was that I didn't expect them to have i-series boards in them. I expected them to have the candy cane. I expected a regular green socket motherboard. And they didn't have it. They have the iCore boards. And part of the grading process has all been really devalued. The iCore boards are very plasticky. They don't have a lot of chips on them. Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. It's very kind of you. So yeah, it's just going to be a scrap-a-thon today. We'll just dig into Mount Lenovo out here. Lenovos are made by IBM. I think they were a more of a bare bones computer, for libraries, schools, workstation, things like that. It's really this wouldn't be something I wouldn't think that this would be a computer a gamer would be interested in. There's not a lot of guts to it. It's a small board. Not a lot of room for expansion, and not really a heck of a lot for memory either. So, in my opinion, this just is a bare bones, so to speak. All right. But it's odd. It's almost like they took it. It's almost like an afterthought. It's like they took these and slapped them together with miscellaneous parts. They all came out of the same lot. They all came out of the same place. But I think I've seen 10 or 15 different configurations in here. Yes, I'm wet. I've been outside loading up the car and so on and so forth. So I look like I'm soggy. I am. So you can see so make sure I'm showing it to you that you can see it. You can see here the very distinctive, I pushed it the wrong way. You can see the very distinctive iCore arm. I was looking at a Board Sorts website because I was checking the pricing, and they show a perfect rectangle, a rectangle as opposed to a square. But on this, that wasn't accurate. I almost wonder if they just used the iCore bracket. I wonder if that's what they did. See, this doesn't look like an iCore bracket. Hold that thought. Let me grab another board. Let me just grab another board here just to satisfy my curiosity. Yeah, this is your typical metal socket, and that is perfectly square. But the iCore is rectangle. But this isn't an iCore chip. I have no idea. I have no idea why they did that. This is a Pentium. Intel Pentium. So I have no idea why they did that. Why would you put a Pentium chip, although it is rectangular, on an iCore board? But my point with this isn't really so much about why they did what they did. My point is really about how I have to now grade the board. I got to grade it as an iCore board because of this being rectangular and the iCore arm. So that's going to grade as an iCore board no matter what I do. Why does that matter? Because the iCore boards have a lot of plastic in them. You know, man, that was my thought too. It's almost like they're a bunch of aftermarket computers. That's exactly, I think I said that on my live. I've been calling them leftover Lenovos. I mean, they're like Franken computers. Frankenstein computers. And then you have this great big case and all this space. It's like IBM had a clearance. Frankencomputers. They make no sense. This makes no sense to me at all. But there's hundreds of them. Hi, are you freaking kidding me? How are you? So anyway, I don't have an answer to that. We can put that under points to ponder. Make sure I don't go out of line on this thing. It is humid as heck out there today. It's spritzing. It is spritzing. I really hope we get a good solid soaker. It's been a very hot month of August. It's been a pretty hot summer. We didn't get a lot of... Now, don't you be difficult here. Let me switch you around. There you go. Well. Are you kidding me? What are you having a break from? Just TikTok in general, or? Yes, I am, because my screwdriver broke. The impactor is set all the way on 0. I mean, it's set to drill, but unfortunately my Ryobi screwdriver set. I bought them the other day, and they don't work. And Home Depot is giving me a really hard time about returning them and telling me I have to return them to the manufacturer. And I'm like, I didn't even use it. Like, what the heck? Now, anyway. So I'm stuck with 2 impact drivers and no screwdrivers until I can find somebody more reasonable to discuss the matter with. I got a stuck screw down here. Hello, David. Lauren, welcome. So, anywho, that's what I've been up to. There we go. So yes, so I do have it set. I do have it set on drill, and I'm just using enough torque to turn the screw. So yeah, they had the special, $79. You got 2 screwdrivers and 2 batteries. Not bad. You know, and 2 chargers, which if you price Ryobi batteries, you know how much the batteries alone go for. But the damn screwdrivers won't work, no matter what I do to them. So I brought them back, and Home Depot said we can't accept those. And I'm like, well, why can't you just exchange the screwdrivers? The battery and the chargers are fine, and I used those. Well, now these products are used. It's broken. I said, I just got it. Look, it's broken. Ooh, brass riser. That was one of the things I found in these Lenovo's. They all had, yeah, come back here. Come back here, you're the only thing of value in here. They all had, brass. They had little brass risers in them. I guess that's to make up for the crappy iCore board. Everything's going well at Scrappy Deville too. We're getting ready to go back to school. The kids go back on the 28th. The teachers are back the 25th, I think. I still, for the life of me, can't understand why they go back so early. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at the board. So, those of you who are involved with computer recycling and specifically with board buying and selling know that it's all been turned upside down, sideways, and on its ears. Mia Rossi, you hit that really right on the head. It's almost like an aftermarket computer. So this is why the board isn't worth much. There's nothing on it. The value is here. And like I said, this makes no sense to me. This is an iCore ARM, an iCore base because it's rectangular as opposed to square, and the chip that came out of it is like a leftover. It's like a leftover. That was exactly right. So I can't figure that out. You know what? I don't have to. But what it does affect me is that the board is crap. There's one chip here. There's a flip chip here. There's not even a gold-banded BGA on here. So to a board buyer, this is pretty much a rubbish board. Board's paying $1.75 a pound for them right now. And for me, it's $1 to ship it. So I went this morning to the local yard and was offered 75 cents a board, which I did take. So that's the story with iCore boards. See, with these metal sockets that are square, like this, perfectly square, you do get a BGA. So this grade's better. This is going to be a metal socket motherboard as opposed to an iCore motherboard. And you can see the difference. See the gold chip. Up till a few months ago, they graded all these together. Yeah. Commodore 64. What are you doing? Hi, Commodore 64. I had one of those. Matter of fact, I have one down in the basement. It's the old Commodore desktop. It's really, I'm trying to convince the gentleman to let me have it reformatted so I can sell it. He's thinking about it. I said, you know, Howard, I said, they don't make these anymore. I said, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have data that they love to recover. And I think we can get you a good price for it. I said, I have a friend who has an IT store. He'll reformat it and wipe everything off it for you and put in a thing. Oh, he's thinking about it. But anyway. All right. So, again, it's a pretty board, huh? It's a nice board. Just out of curiosity, that is an IPI BL-LB. And there's really nothing on the back on either board. I'll try and get that off, but anyway. And yes, Mia Rossi, you had it right on the head. It takes the same amount of time and effort to take it apart. If I get them all apart, I can probably turn them in and get about $100 out of the deal. That's not too bad. Now these I do take apart. These are the CD-ROM drives. It's actually a desktop. It's not a VIC, and it's not a Commodore 64. It was something else. I don't remember. It's in the workshop, and I don't remember. It's just that it was so clean. For somebody who's into that old, the older computers, it would have been a nice thing for refurbishing or parts or whatever. All right. So with these being such nothing burger computers, you're going to have to go after the value inside. And the CD-ROM drives, DVD boards on these are they're not great. It's not a great board, but they do sell for $5.65 a pound. So when you get 1,563 of them, you'll have a pound. I mean, it takes 2 minutes to take this apart. And Board Sort will buy these. They'll buy them for $5.65 or so a pound. So that I'm going to keep. There is gold here, and there's gold here. A couple of little chips. This is a newer CD-ROM board, so not as great. Some of the older ones have like 48 gold pins and some big chips. But they'll take those. One size fits all, so to speak. Yeah, just like everything else, Commodore 64, depends what kind of condition they are. That's exactly right. And if you have the time, and if you have the software, hardware, etc. to test it, and this, that, and the other thing. For me, nope. I'd rather just take it, get it formatted, and sell it to somebody for parts who knows what they're doing with it. I don't have time. Interest, yes. Time, no. But I have my band instrument rental business is going to get really super busy in about 2 weeks. And you'll want to definitely grab that piece of brass. There is gold in the laser eye for anybody who's really into gold refining. For me, I'll take that piece of brass, I'll take that board, and the rest of it can get shredded. Let me clip the wire out real quick. That was a good aftermarket. I never even thought about it like an aftermarket computer. I was thinking like bits and pieces is what I was calling it, a Franken computer. A Franken computer. I honestly have never been a fan of the Lenovo line. I think what they are is just a basic budget-friendly computer. That's you need to take your attendance, enter your grades, do your customers' data. That's what it's going to do. It's not going to do anything else. All right. I don't know the year on this. I already put the chip in with his friends. Let's see. You sure do. I get that impression, Commodore 64. I'll tell you. See you later. Bye. Are you kidding me? Nice to hear from you. Just want to see if there's a date on here. Pentium. Looks like it says 1989, but that seems really off. Anywho. Alright. So that is power supply and a wire. I'll break the plastic off, get a nice piece of clean aluminum. Let's go get another one. 79 to go! You know the fun thing about this is you're not going to find any two that look alike. We're getting a good steady soaker now. I'm glad. It's so dry. So this one, same computer, same lot. And this one, Lenovo Enhanced Experience, Windows 7, Lenovo Enhanced 2.0 running an Intel Celeron chip. But it's going to have an iCore board. Go figure. I find that with Lenovo's. I don't know. Maybe it's just their bare bones computer. I don't know. I don't really want to go bashing a brand. I don't mean to do that. I'm just saying from a perspective of somebody buying and selling computers for scrapping or recycling. I personally would not purchase this brand of computer because there's not a lot of recycling value in it unless you micro scrap it out, which is what Snobby Scrapper suggests, and I agree with him. That's what I'm doing here. Bye, Commodore 64. It was nice chatting with you. So I'll do a couple of these, and then I think the next venture, guys, will probably be some laptops, and I got a couple of good pieces of RAM out of the deal. That's good. The next thing I probably will do is have a lot of laptops coming in, and they're the older, thicker laptops. Those I know will have a lot of really good e-scrap in them. I've still got, I think I've got a 10-pound box of those boards out of the Office phones. The really nice gold, the ones with the really nice gold flashing, and the really good gold bearing material. Feedback from the people who bought those was very good. They were very happy with those. Those came out of ESI Office phones. So if you get a chance to pick up ESI Office phones, yeah, those were worth it. Those were a fantastic scrap out. I did well with those. Kind of makes up for these. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I've got servers out there. I've got Apple computers. I picked up a huge all-in-one this morning. Everybody's like, don't bother scrapping it. Well, number one, it's all aluminum because it's one of the older ones. Back in the day, Apple made everything recyclable. It was all aluminum. They were very committed to the environment. And Steve Jobs was on board. He was good about that. Like everybody else, though, price of precious metals went up, and they had to add more plastic to the product. But what I did last week, I actually found an i7 in it. Intel has just basically given itself the kiss of death with the iCore series. They're in the company is in an awful lot of trouble. Just want to make sure I'm positioned so you guys can see. Thanks, guys, for all the likes. I appreciate that. Like I said, if you're into computer recycling, I'm your gal to go. That's pretty much all I do now. But when I pulled the board out of the all-in-one, it was burned. Big burn spot right by the CPU. And I guess, I'm not sure what generation it is, I'm not sure what number it is. I just know that they have a huge problem with their current, with one of the more recent generations of the i chips, the i-cores. Really bad. So Intel can't get out of its own way. They used to be the leader. Everything had Intel chips in it. And boy, the past couple of years, been a real mess. Ooh, that'll be fun, Lance. I bet you found a whole bunch of really good gold pulling apart old cell phones. That's awesome. Yeah, the phones I was referring to, they were ESI Office phones, and the circuit boards were really, really good. I don't even know how many of those I had. I had a lot. I went this morning to the yard that recycles those office phones. What I did is I got rid of a lot of the ones that were not worth salvaging, but those went adios-y, amigos-y. Let's see. I'm gonna bring this down so you guys can see better. There. So, sorry guys, sometimes I just paused to read some of the chat. If I miss your question, feel free to message me. I do check my messages. And, you know, if I can provide an intelligent answer, I'm always glad to do so. And, today's activity, just to share some of these Lenovo computers with you. And, you know, let you see. You know, it's a good idea to know what's in there before you go and buy a pallet load like I did. I mean, I did okay. I'm just going to have to scrap them all to... Great. I'm in the Connecticut area. If any of you are interested in buying boards or selling boards, I do both. I won't be buying anything like this because they're just so low quality at this point. But I would gladly help you dispose of them. That's the thing, is you really have to know what's inside these things now. Especially if you get a Franken computer like this one. So again, we've got an iCore board, an iCore bracket, and a non-iCore chip. Unbelievable. I really wonder if the gold content is any better in these than in their counterparts. You know what's got me is the iCore has a rectangle and the regular metal socket motherboard has a square. So I don't really know. But for me, in the meantime, you know what? I'm going to pitch these in with these are pinless CPUs. They're not iCore. At least I don't say iCore on them. But they're in an iCore socket on an iCore board. I don't know. I'm just going to scrap it, and you know what? I don't know when. Atlanta, Georgia. I bet you're a lot easier to ship to than Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, shipping to Atlanta would be a lot easier for me than shipping to Cleveland. Awesome. I think you're going to see a lot more e-scrap recycling centers popping up as the price of precious metals continues to skyrocket. You know, there's only so much of this stuff to go around. You know, how are they going to continue to make these advanced chips and everything else without material? You know, if we're tariffed to death, we can't get it. And it's going to have to come from recycled electronics. There's a company called Mint Innovation that another channel was talking about. Who was talking about them? Shark Scrapper. And Mint Innovation is in New Zealand and Australia. And apparently they've just opened, or are opening, an e-waste recycling center in Texas. But I think you're going to see more e-waste recycling opening up. If I take the test and pay the fine, pay the fee, I could be. It really wouldn't take me very long to get the R2 certification. What I do is I subcontract to people who are R2 certified. In other words, they'll send me over a box full of stuff. They'll pay me to take it apart and send them a certificate of destruction. But most of the stuff I get is just given to me to do whatever I want with, because people, I work in the schools a lot, so they know me already. I destroy the hard drives. I take the boards apart. But you know what I do is I sell them, Brad, to recyclers who are R2 certified. So, yeah, I get the impression they're going to be quite the thing. Yeah, Brad, I'll be interested in getting to know more about you. That would be great. I'm always looking for a place to sell boards. A lot of times I just do free pickups and then I can do whatever I want with them. For those of you who don't know, an R2 recycling license means you're obligated to wipe the hard drives, destroy any sensitive material, and basically break the unit down to where nothing can be recovered off of it. It involves a special license and a special training and things like that. It's not really hard to get, and I could do it. Oh, good. I don't even know how I got into e-scrapping. It was crazy. Well, I had a music school back before COVID hit. Very successful music school. And we had a recording studio. And we bought a lot of used servers. And my audio engineer was really, really, really good at fixing them and repairing them. We'd use them. Sometimes we'd fix them up and resell them. Sometimes we'd, upgrade to something else. But we always made money reselling the servers. And that was how I actually got into the whole thing. One of my schools one day was throwing out a bunch of computers. I said, hey, can I have those? I said, sure. So I took them apart, and next thing I know, I was addicted to e-scrap. Still am. The problem with it is, it's messy. But what happened was when COVID shut down my business and everybody else's, my mother, God rest her soul, got sick at the same time. Wow. Micro soldering. Good for you. So, when my mom got sick, I needed to be at home. She was older. She needed 24/7 care. And the next thing I knew is I was doing this full time. The studio was closed because of COVID. And, I was getting e-scrap and taking it apart and shipping it off and selling it and making money while being able to stay home and take care of my mom. It was just crazy. It's supposed to be a hobby. I'm supposed to be retiring this year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be one more year. I wanted to. I'm ready to, but I had a stinking flood in the house, and so now I'm going to have to work an extra year to pay for the renovations, and that's okay. I can work from home. I can continue doing this. And rent band instruments online. So, yeah, I stay busy. My dad used to say, retire? When did I have time to do anything? Now that I'm retired, I have no time. I'm busier now than when I used to work. So, get your brass, get your board. You could get the laser eye out of here. A lot of the guys who are into gold refining. And there's a copper motor in here. That's more work than Scrappy D wants to do. Alright, guys. I'm Lenovo'd out. How about you? My usual live is Sunday morning. Haven't decided yet what I'm going to do this Sunday. Kelly, thank you for the gift. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I'm going to sign off because all I've got is these Lenovos, and you guys don't want to see another one. Once you see one Lenovo, you've seen them all. But I did want to share some of these with you and show you a little bit. These are selling right now for $8.90 a pound, I think, on board sort pinless CPUs with a metal back. RAM this is gold. This is it's PC RAM. It's not as chunky. For those of you who buy RAM from me, you know that I save the server RAM for you, the double-sided super chunky stuff. I sell that to you home gamers for gold refining. I do not gold refine, but I do sell boards and things to people who do. I ship a lot out to board sort, and maybe I'll be shipping some down to Atlanta. How about that? So yeah, Sunday morning I'm usually on sometime between 9. I usually go off at 11 because I skip over to 11:30 Mass. But our RAM is right now, I think, $34 a pound, even for this, which is not as good quality. But there's a lot of gold here. There's gold here. A lot of other places you can find gold too. Gold finger cards. In the servers, you'll find PCI cards. Those have risers on them and a lot of really good expansion cards. So there's a lot of places you can find gold, and I do have those as laptops. I get a lot of laptops, Brad. Tons of them, actually. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that. Yeah, I look forward to it too. Looking forward to speaking with you. I actually own the domain and the website, thecomputerscrapper.com. I have plans for that too. I'm eventually going to launch something called eScrap by the pound, but I just haven't had the chance. But for my subscribers on YouTube and TikTok, the higher quality stuff with really good gold recovery, I sell that direct to my subscribers, and that's been really super good for all of us. They get good product, and I don't have to ship it off to Kalamazoo somewhere. All right, everybody, take care. God in heaven bless each one of you. Stay wonderful. If you're on the East Coast, please do be careful. Atlanta, you be careful down there. Not sure what's going on with Hurricane Aaron, but it's not even be a tropical storm at this point. At least I hope so. So everybody stay safe, stay well. All you wonderful children out there in the world, stay safe going back to school. Study hard, and you'll do great things. All right, everybody. See you soon. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can, subscribe so that you know when I go live. I try to go live a couple times a week. This week's just been crazy because of all the pickups and everything else. You know what it is? It's just I don't like being redundant when I have all of the same thing. I just do one or two, and that's it. I'm done. All right, everybody. God bless. Take care. Thanks, Brad, for the advice and everything. I look forward to speaking with you. It'll be fun. All right, everybody. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.